What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video by Trunkfishgreen34, and we are back with some more stock car versus next gen, this time on Team Clutchade. So I am doing my best to commit to these every single month, and I think that's the plan going forward. I think I'm going to try and do one per month because I want to get through all the sponsors, and I want to get through some of the more interesting ones as well if there's time. Like I've got some surprises in store for this series. Um, so I want to try and get through all the sponsors. But that is a goal that we are going to have to slowly work towards if I'm doing these one per month. And this month's is Team Clutchade. So let's get right into it. On the left, representing the stock car side, we have Dino Draftsky, and on the right, representing the next gen side, is Noah Gocek. So, in terms of releases, Dino was first released in early 2018 and wasn't really available after that. I think he got a Thailand release in 2019, but he has not been readily available. I feel like he was in a multi-pack of some kind, whether it was like an Amazon pack or something. Honestly, there's so many Racer 11 packs and 5 packs and all that I just don't remember. Noah Gocek's a little bit easier to remember because he came out much more recently in 2020, which I did review way back in 2020. So we're going to be kind of redoing that review today as well. But he came out in 2020, early 2020, and then I think that's it. I don't think he was in an 11 pack or anything, but he appeared in multiple cases, so he wasn't that hard to get, all things considered. Yeah. We're going to start, of course, with Dino, the stock car. And right off the bat, you can tell that this is 100% close to the Clutchade. It's part of the Clutchade branding. I was really struggling to phrase that sentence. But you look at it and you can feel the Clutchade branding. Now, obviously, compared to Kevin Schiffrite, the Cars 1 racer, the coloring on him, the blue, is a lot lighter. And the white is more, I'd say it's honestly more prominent than it was on Kevin. But you can still tell by the general colors with the use of blue, white, and green that yes, this is for Clutchade. Yeah, so in terms of the font for the numbers, right off the bat, you can tell it's basically the same font, which is actually kind of hilarious because I don't think that's happened before, at least not in the series thus far. I don't think they've kept the font consistent between the Cars 1 and Cars 3. That's really interesting. However, it doesn't look like that's the case for the actual logo. Well, maybe. It's possible that it's the same font, but they put they put it in bold or something. Because I think that has happened. Let me focus the camera. I think that has happened with a sponsor before that we've looked at, but I don't remember. But yeah, so gone is the sort of white stripe design that goes across, over, and back. Now it's just a blue pattern, and it fades into the white with blue stripes that continue across. And oh, he's even got a band-aid on him. I've never noticed that before. And they've added some green to the rims. Oh, Kevin has the band-aid too. Okay, so they kept that consistent. Good to know. Kevin's rims are just white though. But overall, I'd say this does again look like what a more modern interpretation of Clutchade could look like. It doesn't feel like we missed a step in between Kevin and Dino. It looks great, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Dino's design. It keeps the spirit of Clutchade alive. Now, Noah Gocek is drastically different. He's cool, don't get me wrong, but this doesn't really look like Clutch Shade that much. First of all, he's green and blue, and I love that. I love green, it's one of my favorite colors. But there are so many green next gens on the field that this does not really stand out at all. Dino has a similar problem, actually, because he's blue, and there's so many stock cars that are blue. But I don't know. Noah, it's just, I'm not really a fan of how less unique they made him. Because I feel like the blue with the white just kind of popped on Kevin, and as we've gone from gen to gen, it slowly lost that, like, pop. So first of all, they've completely changed the font this time around on the number. Second, they've now completely simplified the logo, so it doesn't even say Clutch Aid as a part of the logo itself, it's just the plus with the two kind of brackets around it. Before it was just the plus in the middle and then Clutch on top and Aid on the bottom. Now we don't even have that. Clutch Aid, it still says Clutch Aid on the car, just it's now been moved to the spoiler and to the back there. Something that they all did do, though, as kind of an addition, was they added all of these, like, pluses. In the blue, you can see it there as well. And I think that looks really cool. And it looks like, yeah, you can see they added it in the green as well. It's kind of hard to tell with the lighting, but it's there. So I think that's kind of a unique touch to him. I do like how they use the green and blue, though, even though it's not really, like, a unique matchup. I think the way they used it was cool, because it goes from, like, bright green at, like, the frontmost point, and then it, like, fades. It's almost like a gradient into the darker blue, and it's even, like, shown like that on the spoiler. Bright green into the dark blue. So again, I think that's great. The rims are now just green. We had Clutch, which was just white, Dino, which had both, and Noah, which is just green, with the plus down the middle there. So, when it comes down to it, which is better? Who wins in the Clutch Aid matchup here? And honestly, I'm torn, because throughout this series, we've been kind of wrestling with what looks cool versus what matches closely with the original design from 2006. And I'm kind of trying to pick the ones that look cool while also still feel like the Clutch Aid branding. Dino, I think, looks like a natural evolution from Kevin and the original paint job, the original Clutch Aid design. Noah, definitely feels modern. Like, you can tell that that is a modern design, with, like, the simplified logo and whatnot. But the colors, I feel like, kind of no longer match Clutch Aid. Like, Dino Draftsky, I think, is, like, really close to Kevin. Like, yeah, they changed up the blue, but it's still close enough that you look at it and you're like, okay, Clutch Aid. Noah, though, if I removed everything that said Clutch Aid and I removed the logos and just showed you the colors, would you have really guessed Clutch Aid as the first pick? Probably not. So, all in all, while I do think Noah Gocek is the cooler release, in my opinion, I feel like I have to give this one to Dino, because it's Clutch Aid. At the end of the day, it's Clutch Aid. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much more I can say. I mean, it's so difficult doing these, because I think, like, overall speaking, the next gens are the cooler designs. Like, I look at the stock cars, and so many of them are a lot like the Cars 1 counterparts, presumably on purpose. And then you get the next gens, which are also wildly different, and that's what makes them fun and appealing. But when it comes to something like this series, where even though as a whole I like the next gens more, as a whole I do like Noah Gocek more, but in terms of kind of trying to look at this from an objective point of view and like which one is closer to Clutch Aid in terms of design and theme, I have to give it to Dino. Even though I want to give it to Noah, I know the answer to this question is Dino Draftsky. So that is another point for these stock cars. And I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but once we've done all the sponsors at the very end of this series, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like an infographic, and I'll do a video with like an infographic where I get out all the stock cars and next gens, and we recap who won in each battle, quote unquote. And then we'll tally it up and we'll see, did more next gens win or did more stock cars win? So it's going to be kind of interesting to see at the very end which side got more victories, I guess. So it's kind of like a fun little competition thing to it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting this series. I know I went from like not posting this series at all for like 3 years to now doing one a month, but you guys seem to like it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Um, and yeah, let me know in the comments what your like vote is. Do you think Dino Draftsky is better than Noah Gocek? Or do you think Noah wins out? Or maybe you don't like either of them and you just like the Cars 1 racer, Kevin Shifright. I am totally cool with that too. I'm not really a big fan of Kevin Shifright, but he looks pretty cool. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video, which will be coming up pretty soon. Bye.